Trump refers to Canadian leadership as nasty. He's threatening to increase tariffs to 50% starting August 19th. So Mark Carney came out the chute, acted like a tough guy, said we were going to put on counter tariffs, and then completely backed down and is now offering concessions. Now here's the interesting thing. Who's giving Mark Carney advice? Well, it turns out the US advisor that Mark Carney is mainly relying on is none other than the former political Democratic operative who worked for Hillary Clinton during the presidential campaign against Donald Trump. Watch this and we're going to unpack all of it.
We've been screwed by tariffs used against us for years by China, by Japan, by South Korea, by Germany, by everybody, by Canada. Canada's nasty. They are. They're nasty. People think Canada, they're nasty. I love the people, but they're nasty. Nasty leadership.
Trump making those comments during a speech in Las Vegas yesterday. Prime Minister Mark Carney was asked about the remarks today. Here's how he responded.
Whatever adjective is used, yes, we're standing up for Canadian workers, for Canadian businesses, as we always have from the start. And from the start, our focus has been on what we can control, and that's investing in protecting our jobs, investing in the future.
How exactly is Mark Carney fighting to defend Canadian jobs? I mean, at some point, can we expect results instead of broken promises from our Prime Minister? But that's all we've seen to this point. I mean, you could mention the digital services tax, the Netflix tax, or the series of counter tariffs that Mark Carney said he would apply to the United States to protect Canadian manufacturing and jobs that he then completely course-corrected on and did the opposite. He didn't follow through with the taxes. He didn't follow through with the counter tariffs. Instead, he offered the United States concessions. And of course that's not going to work because we're proving to Donald Trump that all he needs to do to get whatever he wants out of Canada is just throw a threat. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Donald Trump comes out, says he's going to be putting on a 50% tariff on many Canadian goods starting August the 19th. Mark Carney comes out, guns a-blazing, big press release. We will protect Canadian jobs and manufacturing. We will apply countermeasures to the United States. But then a couple days pass and Mark Carney does the thing he's been doing over and over. Take a listen to this article. As part of the proposed deal, Canada will remove tariffs on U.S. autos, reach an agreement on the interpretation of how dairy quotas should be allocated, and seek the return of American alcohol to store shelves in major Canadian provinces. I mean, wow, is that really how you are going to protect Canadian manufacturing and jobs? We get hit with massive tariffs and you offer them a bunch of freebies? This is a complete betrayal of so many of our manufacturing sectors. Take a look at the automotive sector. Right now, when Canada sends auto parts or vehicles to the United States, we're hammered with massive tariffs. So Canada came out with some counter tariffs on some parts coming from the United States into Canada. And they did that to try to protect the Canadian automotive manufacturing sector, especially out in Ontario. These are massive sectors with huge amount of jobs. But now Mark Carney's going, you know what? We're just going to remove all those counter tariffs. We're not going to allow any. So we're going to keep allowing the United States to tariff our goods, but we're going to allow their goods to come into Canada exempt of tariffs. This is insane. This is how we will lose the entire Canadian automotive manufacturing sector as an example. It's a complete betrayal. It's the same with the dairy. It's the same thing we've seen with softwood lumber, aluminum, steel. All of our sectors are taking massive hits, and the guy that we have in office is completely betraying us and letting us down. He's putting these public promises on, and then he completely does the opposite. Then we need to ask this crucial question. Who in the hell is giving our Prime Minister advice? Well, let's take a look at who Mark Carney decided to hire, and I want you to ask this question. Does hiring someone like this help improve the relationship between Canada and the United States or make it significantly worse? Maia Johnson. So this is Maia Johnson. Maia Johnson's current role for the Prime Minister, she holds two titles. As of 2026 in February, she was put in by Mark Carney as the Senior Special Advisor to United States Stakeholder Strategy. And then, in July of this year, right before the 50% tariff threat came on, she's given a huge promotion by Mark Carney, and she's now the first ever Chief Operating Officer in the Prime Minister's office. The first ever. Now, who is Maia Johnson? Well, let me give you just a very brief, I could go for 15, 20 years about her history here, but the long and short is this. She is a long-term U.S. Democrat political operative. Here's a few of her highlights. 2008, she was a staffer for Hillary Clinton in her presidential campaign against Barack Obama. In 2008 as well, she was a staffer for the Democratic National Committee. In 2012, she was a campaign staff for Obama's re-election campaign. In 2016, she was the director of scheduling for Hillary Clinton in her race against Donald Trump. And then now we're going to take this long-term history, massive Democratic supporter and operative and give her a primary role in the Canadian side as what? Senior Special Advisor to United States Stakeholder Strategy and Chief Operating Officer? I mean, what do you think this does between Canada and the United States when we hire one of the most consistent opponents to Donald Trump in the United States as our stakeholder strategist? This is insanity. I mean, at some point, you guys, we have to stop giving this grace. And the reason is, yes, it's impossible to deal with Donald Trump right now. This is brutal. The guy is a bit of a loose cannon. He changes his mind every 2 weeks. But we cannot continue to bow down and roll out the red carpet. And this advice that Mark Carney is moving forward on is absolutely crazy. At some point, we need to start expecting results, not broken promises.